Okay, hello everybody. So, I've watched every Cloverfield. I've watched Cloverfield 1 and 2, but haven't watched Cloverfield Paradox. I don't know if it's a prequel, a sequel, whatever, or something. But I watched it. I watched Cloverfield 1 and 2, but not the new one. So I stopped at Cloverfield Lane 10 or 10 Lane. And I watched Overlord, and I thought Overlord was going to be in somewhere towards, like, I thought it was going to be similar to all the other movies, Cloverfield, but surprisingly it wasn't. It was a war movie. It kind of like imagine Call of Duty, sort of. Imagine Call of Duty Black Ops. I don't remember if it's Black Ops 2 with the zombies, where they have zombies. So imagine Call of Duty with the zombies. So this movie starts off with these couple of guys that are coming from the U.S. and they're heading towards Germany to take out. I don't think they're taking out Hitler at all, but they're taking. They were sent to take out a group of people that were similar to Hitler, or like a lower tier version of Hitler, or I'm not sure if there was if the guy represented Hitler, but I don't think it was. So in Germany, during the movies, I don't know if I don't care about politics. So if you guys have anything bad to say about Jewish people, that's your right. I'm not. That's your opinion. Like, I don't. I'm not gonna get into Jewish people. I hate Jewish people or I hate Germans. No, I'm not gonna get into none of that. Just so you guys can understand that I'm not going against anyone's. I'm not going against anyone. I don't care if you think that I lean over to one side or to the other side or whatever in politics. I'm not talking about politics in none of my channels. So get that straight in your head and get your politics out of here. So so the movie portrays that the Jewish no the movie portrays that Germans are, because it's Hitler. It's 1941 to, like, I don't know. I think it's like 1941 or 1942 when the movie starts, that they're heading towards Germany, and there's a war, and many warplanes are being taken down. So the place that those dudes are at, the American soldiers or the U.S. soldiers, they're on the plane and they got bombed, and the plane starts heading down towards Earth, and they jump off and land on in Germany, and they see Jewish people, and I really loved this movie. I don't care what you guys have to say, but even though it wasn't so much action like you guys wanted to see, more zombies, because I know that people that watched this movie, they said, where are all the zombies from every other J.J. Abrams movie? Because I think J.J. Abrams works with zombies only. His whole thing is zombies, aliens, and similar stuff. But this movie had some zombies, and I thought they were not zombies. I thought they were like they were like deformed people. Because in this movie, we got to see that the Germans were doing some kind of experiment or multiple experiments on the Jewish people, on the Jewish community, and because Hitler was in power. But I don't really have to say that Hitler was the one behind all of this, because it was like concentration camps or something. Okay, so it was like some concentration camps or something that was going on. So I don't know. There were some concentration camps, and what I know from what I saw was that the Americans were there trying to take care of the Jewish people, protecting them from the Germans, because there was this tower, or like kind of like a kingdom. I would say like kind of like a kingdom, where they had where the Germans had a bunch of Jewish people that were sick, and instead of helping them out, they were transforming them into like zombies. Or to me, I thought they were becoming like deformed people, like given, like they were burned, and they still had a life, but they were a little bit crazy in the head or something. But that's my thought. So that's what I thought that it was going to be. I'm not giving you a. I'm kind of giving you a synopsis or sort of a my thoughts, and my thoughts on this movie was incredible because I watched many movies before that one because when this movie came out, because I went to see it the same day that it came out. So when it came out in theaters, that's the same day I went and watched it. I didn't really have in my mind that I I didn't have in my mind that it was going to be a good movie. I just thought it was going to be a another Cloverfield movie that just got boring. And I think even J.J. Abrams understands that those movies had to have an end, or they were boring. But according to Netflix, people really watched Cloverfield Paradox, and I'm surprised that people did, because he didn't bring it out to theaters for that purpose. The purpose was that he thought that it wasn't going to work out, which led me to believe that it was true too. That people got tired of that. But when he saw that it was on Netflix, it was too late to put it back in theaters. So he didn't want it to just go to from the theaters to straight DVD. And that's why I understand that Adam Sandler has that mentality too. He has that mentality that if something's not going to work in theaters, straight out go to Netflix, get some help from Netflix, from Hulu, from, I guess that's it, because there's not basically anybody else except for Disney. But I don't think Disney has, they're using the platform for their movies, their specific movies. They're still going with theaters. So there's Hulu and Netflix that has their back if they know that the theater is not going to do good. Which that's how I would have thought for this movie of Overlord. But surprisingly, it was good. To my knowledge, I loved the movie. And there's people that said there needs to be more zombies in the movie. But for me, I felt that the zombies were... I'm glad that there was not a lot of zombies. I'm glad, because the whole movie would have been boring if zombies... It would have been another Black Ops. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I think it was, with the zombies. With the zombie campaigns and all of that. I know it's good for a game, but it's not good... It would have been something like dumb, like Resident Evil, which Resident Evil has like a bunch of zombies and aliens, and even if you take them down, they're like huge. They become bigger and stronger and much more powerful. And you guys understand what I'm trying to say with that. That it wouldn't have gone good if they would have thrown more zombies, because it would have just made the story a lot more dull. But to my surprise, it was an amazing movie. And people that didn't understand this movie, it wasn't supposed to be a Cloverfield kind of a reboot or a sequel or a prequel or whatever. It wasn't supposed to be. It's its own movies. And that's what I've always said about Star Wars. Like, you have Star Wars episode whatever. Like, I don't know what episode they started off with, like episode 7 or something like that. And they're still going like very strong. Star Wars Han Solo and Star Wars this and Star Wars that. Like, come on. There's like a bunch of movies that came out, and to my surprise, I wish that they just stopped those movies of Star Wars. Like, what's the point? You already got what you wanted, and that's how I felt for J.J. Abrams. I feel like he has to stop certain movies too. Like, don't come out with superhero movies and expect that same superhero to have. I mean, I don't really consider a superhero movie Star Wars, but I consider it more like a group movie that they have 10 people in it, and they went through 3 movies, and they got to the end of the story, but they still have to continue with pushing the next one, pushing the kids, or pushing the brother to continue his story, or to have the cousin continue, or have the son of Darth Vader continue. Like, for real, like, stop. That gets old. But I still watch Star Wars, and that's what I'm thinking of this movie. That this movie was incredible. The zombies were not really that big for this movie, but they were incredibly in between. And by in between, I mean like they were not so big, like rah, like straight in your face type of zombies. And I didn't think of them as zombies when I watched the movie. I thought of them like they're normal people like me. Then they end up in these camps, or whatever, the towers or castles, whatever you want to call it, and they're given medicine for the sick, but they become deformed with that medicine. Like, we want them to be different. But I loved the end of the movie, though. I loved it. I loved the movie because this bad guy, which I'm going to check it out, and hopefully I can. Let's see if I can check it out. So, it was Overlord. And I loved it. I love that the bad guy, he was holding everyone captive. I loved it. I love that this dude was holding. I love that this dude was holding everyone captive. All the Jewish people, and the Americans had to save them. So this guy had some sort of medicine to make people stronger, or make them be different than what they are, like more zombie-like. Which I didn't think of it as zombies. I just thought of them as deformed people. But this movie doesn't get a 10 out of 10, but it still gets a big high number, like 8.5 out of 10. Because I loved the scenario. I loved how it looked, the outside, the world. I loved how beautiful J.J. Abrams made this movie. And there's many people that said it was disappointing. Which, even the people that have high standards for this movie. High standards. And by high standards, I mean, like, say the movie is already incredible, but they want the movie to be even superior to that incredibility. So I thought this movie was incredible with the zombies. And I like that the bad guy, he put himself medicine, or it's kind of like Kick-Ass, like Kick-Ass 2, with Chloe Moretz, or whatever her name is, Supergirl, or Supergirl, or whatever she called herself, Kick-Ass Girl, or Ass Girl, whatever she said her name was, which I'm you can correct me. And in that movie, she puts a lot of adrenaline, or a lot of medicine into herself, and makes herself rah, like, you made me stronger. Now I have more power to take you down. And that's what the bad guy did. He turned himself into a zombie and gave himself like extreme power, and he started to take over the world. And it felt like that. And it felt like the bad guys, I mean the good guys that were there, didn't have a way of ever escaping, because the guy was way too powerful. No matter what the good guys did to take over the bad guy, there was no way of taking them down. Because, like, imagine the Hulk. Like, a regular person wouldn't be, like, not even superheroes can take down the Hulk, but they use other supernatural powers, like medicine, or other ways of getting the Hulk to be useless. Or like a wrestler. Just imagine a wrestler versus a regular punching guy. Like, there's no way to beat a wrestler. And that's how I felt this movie. Like, this dude was way too powerful until, like, this the dude found medicine, or he took the medicine and used it on himself. He's like, I don't. It's like this. It's like, whoa, I'm going to put all this medicine to fight the bad guy. And when he put the medicine, he knew there was no way of coming back, because he turned himself into a supernatural person that wasn't, like, super powered person that wasn't a real person anymore. He turned himself into the zombies, and he did defeat the bad guy, but the way he defeated the bad guy was kind of crazy. He made the tower, or the kingdom, explode with some explosive, and he knew that by doing that he would not escape, but everybody else barely, and I have to say barely, escaped to see the world grow up and continue. And they were happy because they took down one tower, and they showed the end of the movie like they were about to take, like they were let go back to the US, live your life, because you accomplished what we came here to do. So that zombie dude was very powerful. It felt like no one would be able to take over him. Like, one punch to him, like, and he still went, like imagine some movies where they go like one punch, and it goes, I'm strong, do against the good guy, and that's how it was. So for me, this movie was beautiful. Like, the scenery was very beautiful, even though I think, and I'll say it, most of the time of this movie, it was like nighttime or foggy time. Like, I don't think they showed it in the morning. Like, the scenery, there was no scenery during the day. It was mostly nighttime, and it was incredible. And people that were disappointed with this, I think, I really don't understand what you want from this movie. I don't know what you wanted, but they gave you, I think, based upon my thought, they gave you everything you asked for. J.J. Abrams did good, but the reason I gave it a good rating is because there's movies that came out before that made me disappointed for, like, 2018. Like, wow, 2018 is going to be the best year ever, and they come out with one movie. Wow, 2018 starting off beautiful. They brought back this movie, they brought back that movie, and then, like, the middle of 2018, like, what happened? What happened to the movies? Like, the end of 2018 also. What happened? Like, what? What is this? It's not the year for this anymore. And I have to say the truth. That's the reason I'm giving this movie a great view. I mean, a great score. An 8.5 out of 10. Maybe even a 9. But that's it. So if you liked my thoughts on this movie, or if you didn't like anything, then I'm sorry, and you can have a wonderful day, and still look at all my description, and you can follow me wherever you feel like following me. And if you don't like my videos, I don't expect you to like everything I do. So thank you, and have a wonderful day.